Morning, Barry. Good morning, Phyllis.
Morning, Larry.
How are things?
I'm good. How are you keeping?
Not bad, not bad.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, same to yourself.
Yeah,
You're right back into it.
yeah. Working from home, but yeah, get stuck straight back. It's a bit busy year ahead, so why not?
Absolutely, yeah. Just to let you know, we have about maybe 12 people registered. They may or may not come live, and that's okay. I'll be recording this, so you'll be able to watch this back as well later on. So you can do a bit of a recap. Um, so thanks for registering, first of all. Um, for the sake of anybody watching back later on, and any of you who have never met or worked with me before, I'm Larry McGuire. Incidentally, Barry, Phyllis, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, no problem.
How's the sound coming in? All right?
Oh, good. I'm gonna put myself on mute just. All right.
No problem. Welcome, Falgunia. I hope I've pronounced your name correctly. Just going to let a few people in. Morning, Eamon. How are you? Okay. Let's carry on. Welcome this morning, everyone. Thanks for taking the time out on your Friday morning, the 2nd of January, to join in this workshop. It is a workshop, so hopefully you'll be taking plenty of notes and even trying some of the stuff that I'll show you. A few people still coming in, so I'll continue to let them in. Um, like I said, this is a workshop, so hopefully you will be taking loads of notes and trying this for yourself on your own machine as we go through the process. Um, by way of introduction, I'm Larry McGuire. I'm a work psychologist, and I teach people. I lecture in psychology, but not only that, I have through, and I don't know why, but it simply ended up that I teach AI to business people as well. It's just one of those things that I got involved in around 2023. A colleague of mine asked me to collaborate on a program for SkillNets here in Ireland. SkillNets is a government-funded training and development initiative, and helps business people and their employees upskill in various areas. And one of those areas is AI. I've always been techie, always been interested in um, gadgets and software. It was part of my work for a very long time. I ran an electrical and electronic systems integration business for 20 years odd. So it's something I have a genuine passion and interest for. So it kind of makes sense. You could say that I find myself at the point where people at work meet technology. In technical terms, it's called socio-technical design. So where society is influenced and affected by technology, and how we might integrate that technology to a more efficient extent and consider people in the process. And that really is key, because if we're introducing technology in our work and in our business simply for the sake of technology, well, uh, people will suffer and often revolt, and change is difficult. And we have to be cognizant of that when we're bringing it into play. So, part of this workshop is part of a broader initiative, you might say, to help people get to grips with uh, artificial intelligence at work. So one of the biggest challenges, certainly I've found, and I know people I've spoken to, is um, developing and managing PowerPoint and Excel, and maybe finding easier ways to use these tools at work. So we're going to focus today initially on PowerPoint, and it's only an hour, so we won't get into heavy into all the detail. But hopefully later on we'll get time to move on to Excel, and then next Friday we'll get into a bit more detail on Excel. So I might maybe open it up to you folks before we get stuck into the detail. And maybe you could let me know, is there something in particular about AI that concerns you, that excites you, that you want to maybe learn about? Maybe it's not only PowerPoint that might have piqued your interest today, but is there something that you in particular you want to learn about AI and how to use it in your work? You can just unmute yourself and jump in if you wish. Don't be shy.
I'll jump in, Larry.
Go
Um,
ahead, Barry. Yeah.
it's just to streamline processes, save time. It seems to be a case that a lot of businesses are using it and adapting it, and it's a case of not being left behind.
Okay.
Um, uh, Probably PowerPoint, maybe not so much for me personally. Excel, we obviously a heavy user of Excel,
Mm,
and if it can streamline that, we have used it a little bit within the office, but it's more around Word documents and preparing reports, maybe templated reports and things like that. But really, it's a time saving tool more than anything else.
yeah. And would you primarily find yourself using ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude, or what's your
I think
tool of choice then?
it's ChatGPT seems to be the one, but that's the only one I'm aware of really. So that's probably the one the go to.
And that's in the browser or via the app itself.
Yeah, we've got a paid subscription to the app.
Okay, very good. Anyone else got anything to add before we push on? Okay, no worries. I appreciate that. You're just observing maybe this morning, so no problem. Okay, so the first thing to consider, let's deal with PowerPoint first. The first thing we need to do when we're working with PowerPoint with an AI is to do a little bit of groundwork first before we can build in that efficiency. There is the idea that, and it's been sold hard, that AI will somehow be the savior, that it will save us 20%, 30%, 40, 50% of our time at work. And that might be true, but it's more likely that we have to do a little bit of work up front in order to achieve those gains. We have to develop a way of thinking and approaching these AI tools in order to get the best from them. They are, if I could explain a little bit in advance, so an AI is essentially a statistical machine. It weighs up whether or not whether to pick this word or that word in a sentence, for example. It uses statistics to predict the next item in a string, whether that's code that's been written or whether it's text on a page or whatever happens to be. So it doesn't know anything. The AI doesn't have a brain, so to speak. It doesn't have the ability to just admit someone here. It doesn't have the ability to read the environment. It doesn't have the ability to understand people or know what's happening in the real world. It doesn't have a social uh, understanding. It doesn't know people and relationships. So that's our job. So oftentimes our decisions are ruled by our relationships with other people, and the business environment. Your AI doesn't know that. So you're the ultimate arbiter of truth and fact, not the AI. That's a really important thing to take into account as we move into this here. So the AI might be able to predict something, but you need to guide it, and that requires a little bit of work up front, and that's what we're doing. That's what we're attempting to do this morning. So I'm going to share my screen and get stuck in here, and stop me at any point to ask for clarity uh, along the way. And do try this yourself as we go, and take plenty of notes. As I said, because it's a little bit of a learning curve. So let's get the screen sharing going. Okay, let's go to PowerPoint first of all. So just give me thumbs there if everyone can see that screen with PowerPoint loaded. Just give me a thumbs up there if you can see my screen. Just want to make sure. Let's do this. Okay, so working with PowerPoint, the first step is a little bit of work for you and me. We have to create the template because we're going to give this to the AI, whether it's ChatGPT, whether it's Claude, whether it's Gemini. I'd recommend you try this with ChatGPT and Claude first. I've had pretty good results with Claude. That's my favorite tool. Um, I've invested in the Pro Plus plan. I think it's about 90 quid a month, and I think it's worth it. If you're on the free plan, free with ChatGPT or free with Claude, you're going to be severely limited in what you can do in terms of tokens and in terms of capabilities. So if you want to get the most from your AI, you've got to get on a paid plan. 20 quid a month is not a huge figure to spend if you really want to gain from using these tools in your work. So the first thing you're going to need to do before you start working with PowerPoint inside your AI tool is to build a template. So I've taken some time to build a template for myself and the work that I do in delivering lectures and workshops and so forth. There's only one slide in this PowerPoint, but that's okay because the real work we need to do is in the master slide. So up on the top menu, you'll see the view option, view menu item. You click on view, and then along the menu here, you'll see master slide, and you'll click slide master. And this opens up the template that sits at the back end of your PowerPoint deck. Now you'll be familiar with the PPTX extension to PowerPoint. If you're looking for a slide deck, it's whatever the name of the slide deck is, .pptx. Well, this is .potx. It's a template file, and this is stored elsewhere on your machine. And when you open up a PowerPoint deck, this template will sit at the back end of it. So if you pick, for example, let me go back into the main deck and click on design. As you look here in the design tab, there are many designs along here in this menu. You can select any of these designs, and your company probably has a template built and set up. Well, at the back end of all of these designs is the master slide template, and that's what I'm talking about. So we're going to stick with the one we've got open. When we click view and go to master slide, it opens up, and in here you can build your master slide template. The first slide that you'll see dictates how the text is styled, how the font, what font is chosen, the size of the font, the style of the font, spacing, and so forth. And this will generally be set for you when you open up any template within PowerPoint. So there's not much to do here unless you want to edit this particular text and font. The next slide you'll see, I would encourage you to make this your title slide. So when you open up your PowerPoint deck to start with, this is the slide that you see, or this is the slide that your AI will see. So when you right click on the slide itself, you'll see you can rename the slide. So when you do that, you'll see this one I've named blue red main title slide. So that's important. The reason being is if you name all your slides and number all your slides, it's very easy for you to reference them when you're chatting with your AI, because you're going to give this slide deck to your AI and it's going to read these. So this is slide number 1. And when you click on rename, you'll see I've named it here, master title slide number 1. This is number 2. So you need to go through the somewhat tedious task of naming these and giving these slides names that you recognize. This is the slide that I want my AI to use as my title slide. So that's the name I've given it. And it's got a name here also that I can recognize. Blue, red, main title slide. And I set up that the way I want. I can adjust the where the title is. I can add a subtitle. There's a footer here as well if I want to use it. Importantly, it's got my brand logo in the top right hand corner, and it's got this kind of cool graphic as well that I wanted to include. So once that's done and I'm happy with it, I can move on to the next slide. This looks somewhat similar. I've named it blue red content slide. I may or may not use it, but I have it created nonetheless. And I go down through the various slides that I want to keep. What I'd suggest here is you keep this simple. So keep it to a minimum number of slides for your slide deck. So for example, you'll have a title slide. You will have a content slide. I've got one of these here. This is the content slide. So this is the slide that my AI will use when it's building the content section of my slide deck. So all the major items or sections in my slides will be listed here. And I'll show you how that works in a minute. Then I've got a blue section slide. Blue section slide here. I've got a pale section slide if I want to use that. Right here. And then I've got a white section slide. So I have a choice of which section slide I want to use. So section slide again corresponds to the major menu items or content items in my slide deck, if that makes sense. And I've got various other slides in here. The most important ones then are the text. This is a quote slide if I want to include quotes. This is a text slide for general text. Might be contents. What have I got? Yeah, it's a white text slide. So long story short, you've got to build your template. You've got to decide what your title slide is. You've got to create a content slide, a section slide, and then various slides within that. And I'll show you what that looks like now in a moment. So once you have your slide template ready, you hit save and you close that down. So we're ready now to use that. I'll just close this out. Stop share and I'll close that. Once you have your template ready to go, once you've edited your template, you can add it to your AI and give it some custom instructions. And I'm going to walk you through that now. So this is the boring bit for many people, but it's necessary, unfortunately, if you want the AI to deliver you an accurate PowerPoint slide with 30 slides in it, 40 slides in it. Sometimes your AI will struggle if you're asking it to create 40, 50, 60 slides in a slide deck, which is not uncommon. So this helps it and helps guide it. So this is the boring bit. And if you're not into building slide deck templates, you'll need to get someone to do this for you. So let me close that now. And I want to go to another screen and show you where I've got the files you need to create, or I'm going to give them to you, in fact, that you can simply upload to your AI. So let me just open up a couple other things here. We're going to use Claude initially, and then I'm going to show you the same process inside ChatGPT, because I know a lot of people use ChatGPT, but I would encourage you to use Claude. It's a lot more effective. So just bear with me now 1 second. Okay, are we open? project. Okay, so the application that you're looking at here is called VS Code. And I'm not going to get into the details on this now, but this is where I use AI to build out all my content, whether it's lectures, whether it's workshop material, whether it's um, slide decks, you name it, I do in here. I'll get onto this another time, but workshops, let me see, Claude projects, GenAI workshops, and today's PowerPoint workshop, and I've got some attendee materials. So what I wanted to show you was the custom instructions that I've built, and that's what you're looking at here. These custom instructions tell the AI what to do, and I'm going to give these to Claude now, and it's going to create a slide deck for me. There's also some reference content or source content. So I have a research paper, or maybe I have a financial report, or maybe I have a number of financial reports, or maybe I have government documents on taxation, or maybe it's an industry white paper on a particular topic, whatever it happens to be. You've got your source material and you need to create a slide deck on this content. Maybe it's a sales report from the last quarter. Regardless of what it is, it's the same process. You need to give your AI instructions. And I've spent probably 6 hours, 8 hours creating this template so you don't have to. You simply give this set of instructions to your AI along with your source materials and your PowerPoint template, and away it goes. And so I'm going to show you that now. The reference document I'm going to use for this example is called The Technology Fallacy. It's a paper by Gerald Kane, and it talks about how people are the real key to digital transformation, not the technology itself, which is in line with my own particular philosophy around using these tools. So that's a good paper to use. So I'm going to go to Claude and share my screen. Let's increase the size of the screen for you here. Okay, so in Claude, you have the option of using projects, and ChatGPT have the option of using projects as well. And I want to show you ChatGPT for a second. So projects are a more advanced, a more efficient way of using your AI, certainly with ChatGPT and Claude. ChatGPT has projects as well, and here's how you create them. When you're on the paid plan, you'll see the projects tab open up. You'll also see GPTs here. If you're on the free plan or you're not logged in, you won't see these. So projects is where you want to go with ChatGPT, and the same in Claude. You've got projects here. I'll come to ChatGPT in a second, but in here in projects, I'm going to walk you through this. So just keep your eyes on things. So up the top, the white button, new project, you'll click on that and you'll create a project. Here's one, Delia Smith style, one that I created earlier. And so this project is called Presentation Slides Project. And inside you've got the options to turn on memory. And let me just show you what that looks like. So memory is something that ChatGPT does on all by itself. I just have to change my, just bear with me a second, my trackpad is shut down on me. So memory is something that Claude does by itself. You don't need to do much here. It just remembers certain ways that you work, and that's important because sometimes it needs to refer to things you've done earlier. So this is something that ChatGPT has written itself, and I'm happy enough with that. If you want to edit this, you can, but once you turn on memory for a particular project, that will work away. You don't need to worry about it again. But the important bit is this: instructions. Now, whether you're working with Excel or whether you're working with PowerPoint or Word or Markdown files or whatever happens to be, instructions are important. And if you've not set your instructions for your projects, you'll get a really weak result. So when you open up instructions, this is going to be empty, like so. So what you'll need to do is grab your instructions from this file here. Reshare my screen. So going to send you this file. This is the Claude PowerPoint instructions. I've got advanced instructions for you as well. So this is the file you're going to use. Command or Control A selects all. Command C, copy all. Go back to ChatGPT or go back to Claude once again. We're in Claude. I'm going to paste custom instructions. So these instructions, really quickly, they basically lay out for, they have a few people in the waiting room. Bear with me. So these custom instructions lay out the do's and don'ts for your AI, and they're really important because you have to provide the constraints for the AI. The AI isn't going to magically give you what you want. You've got to somehow take what's in your head and put it down in a set of instructions. And I've done this for you. Now, you will need to tweak these instructions because they won't be exactly the way you want. But that's where you do your work with your AI to customize these instructions. So we've essentially said here, we've indicated that these are PowerPoint AI instructions, and we've asked, well, this is your instruction actually. Copy these instructions into your Claude project, custom instructions. That's what we're doing. Upload your PowerPoint template and your project to your project knowledge base. Great. So I'm not going to go through all of these right to the nth degree, but essentially this breaks down, like I said, how the AI should work with PowerPoint on your behalf. So you're basically telling it who it is, the industry that it occupies. You're giving it an approach here. When creating presentations, you prioritize. This is where you add your information. You structure towards the goal, etc. Technical capabilities. You're telling it what it can do, and so forth. So this is the set of instructions that your AI will use. Once you paste these in, you save the instructions, and you're all set. Now you can add files here if you wish, but for this particular demonstration, I'm not going to do that. So what I did first and foremost is I gave it, you can see at the top of the screen here, my sample PowerPoint template that we looked at earlier on and that we customized. And I've also given it the Word doc, the technology fallacy. I've added them to the chat, and here's my prompt. Use the Word doc content as your source of information to compile a PowerPoint deck on the topic of the technology fallacy. Create a menu slide, content slide. Each menu item or contents item must correspond to a section. Each section must begin with the blue section slide. You'll remember earlier on, we named all the slides in our template. So now we're referring to them in our prompt. If the text box is not sufficiently big enough for the content, resume with an additional text slide. Complete each section, and when finished, add, that should be add a thank you slide, which it did. Then a reference slide in blue. So that was my prompt. You can see its process here went through a series of thinking itself. It indicated to me it had all the content and began creating the structure. It identified all of the slides in my template. And this is the real power of taking the time to build a template in advance. My AI, Claude in this case, has identified all the slides in my template. So now I know that it knows that I've given it what I've given it, and I can tell it which ones to use. It continues thinking. All slides rendered correctly. Great. 18 slides in total. Okay. And continued on. It's given me the sections that it produced here. And here's the file. So I'm going to open this up now and show you what this looks like. So remember, I created the template in advance. I labeled all the slides so the AI could recognize what they were. I told it which ones to use. I gave it some content, the technology fallacy doc, and it produced a slide deck based on that document. As I said at the start, you've got to make sure that you know the content, because otherwise, how do you know what the AI, if the AI has produced you something accurate or not? So that's really important. So as I scan through these slides, I can see it's done pretty much what I asked it to do. There's some edits to make, but that's okay. The technology fallacy, this is the title slide. Here's the content slide. These are PPTX, by the way, they're PowerPoint. So I'm going to download and edit this. I can see, for example, that the subtitle's a little bit off here, so I'm going to edit that. That's a quick edit. I can see in the menu slide here, the content slide, I need to widen this element a little bit. That's okay. I've got my logo, brilliant. I've got my nice little graphic on each slide. It's accounted for the research methodology, brilliant. Global survey of 16,000 executives over 4 years. I know that's right because I've read the paper. And on it goes. Navigating digital disruption, the Wizard of Oz metaphor. I know that's accurate as well. The knowing gap, great. So it's very straightforward. It's all text based, but that's great. I've got a starting point. I've something I can work with. You can go on and develop more advanced prompts, and I do have an advanced prompt for you, set of instructions, whereby you can get the AI to create visuals, create charts, add images, lots of sexy stuff, and I'd encourage you to test that. So I'm pretty happy with this deck, and I'm going to download it and conduct a few edits. There's my conclusion slide. I've got my key takeaways. I've got my thank you slide, and I've got my references at the bottom. Wonderful. I'm happy with this. I can work with this. So then I can download that deck. I'm going to show you what that looks like now. So let me just open that up. PowerPoint. So here's the result. I ran a couple of edits on this, but you might remember from that Claude screen, the subtitle here was a little bit off. I adjusted that. The contents section was a little bit off. I widened that element. So I'm really happy with this slide deck. This is excellent as far as I'm concerned. I can add graphics to this. I can edit the text. I can check that things are accurate. I'm really happy with it. And that saves me, I'd say, probably a day in constructing this. I've done a bit of work in advance to build the template. I have written with Claude. I've written a set of custom instructions for Claude, and that little bit of time up front helps me save days. And that's the truth for me. Maybe you can see the power of that yourself. I hope you'll give that a go. I also want to show you what it's like inside ChatGPT now. So I'll share my screen again, go back to the Brave browser and go to ChatGPT. Similar scenario here. Again, you need to be on the paid version to get projects. As far as I know, that changes all the time. So I could be wrong with that. But last time I checked. So what you want to do is create a new project, give it a name. This is called a PowerPoint. project. I'll call it 2 because I've one created already. Pick an icon. Maybe it's this one. Pick the teacher's hat. We'll make it red. Nice little feature, not essential, but you see the little cog here. You got to click on that and select project only. So you want ChatGPT in this case to memorize your sequences, your commands, your chats for the project only. Okay, you don't want to bring other stuff polluting ChatGPT's memory. Make sure that this is set to project only. So create the project that will run. Here we are inside the project. Important again, top right hand corner, you'll see the 3 dots here where my cursor is. Click on those, and here's where you add your instructions. So there's no instructions in here, so we're going to grab the instructions that I showed you earlier on. The ChatGPT instructions. Give me a second, I'll just get these. Projects, yeah, that's what I want. PowerPoint, that's what I want. Command A and copy back to ChatGPT. And here are my instructions. Workshops. 10-day resources. Back to ChatGPT. So these are specific to ChatGPT, and there's some code examples in here as well. So again, you're guiding the AI on what to use and how to use it. At the very top, you've got some rules. You've identified the role for the AI. You've got some hard requirements here. In other words, this is exactly what I want. Don't deviate from this. How to handle POTX, convert to POTX to PPTX, etc. I've got some code examples in here as well. You don't need to worry about this. This is something that the AI will process itself. The template analysis. So this is essentially, again, guiding your AI how to use, how to convert the files you'll give it, how to use the files you'll give it, and create a PowerPoint slide deck. Save your custom instructions. I'm just going to jump to the project I created earlier. So in here, this is the chat that I had with the AI. I've given it my PowerPoint instructions. I've given it the template and asked it to proceed. It's outlined some, here we go here, sorry. So let's go to the top. So that's the PowerPoint instructions, the layouts, and it essentially produces a file that you can download and edit later. Let me show you the end result. So it's essentially the exact same process that we took before, except you're doing it inside ChatGPT. Yeah, the files. I'm just going to do it again here so you can see it in action. Okay, let's go to here and ChatGPT projects. Let's go to the GenAI workshops. PowerPoint with Claude, attendee resources. Okay, and open. So here I've given it my files my PowerPoint template and the technology fallacy. I've also added the custom instructions here. You can do this as well if you like. So my prompt is the same. So let me grab it from here. This is from Claude, the exact same prompt we gave Claude. We're going to give to ChatGPT and hit enter. So I'm going to let this run because it might take about maybe 15 minutes to run this this exercise. So I'm not going to, and neither are you, just sit here looking at it. So I'm going to let that run, and then we're going to look at the result. And hopefully, as I've run through that, you've had a chance to do it yourself. I'm giving you all of these. Let's see what it's done here. It's pretty quick. I'd be very interested to see what this is like now because I've had better results with Claude. ChatGPT wasn't so great. So let me see and share with you what this looks like. Download it and open it up and give you a look. Okay, I'd stop sharing here. Open up this PowerPoint file. Share this one with you. Okay, so this result is not as good as the one I got with Claude because it's just used the same colors throughout and didn't really follow my instructions. You can see that the slide template it used is not the right one. I wanted it to use the white slide. It's used the same kind of slides throughout. Some things it did get right. You know, the title slide is good, the content slide is good, but all of this is not really accurate. Now I know I can change all of that. I can change the layouts and maybe I can adjust that later. So there's the text slide, but I've got a lot of work to do. So I'm not entirely happy with this result, to be honest with you, with ChatGPT. Now, arguably, as you refine your prompts, as you refine your instructions, ChatGPT will give you a better result. But that's the work you've got to do up front. I working between ChatGPT and Claude with PowerPoint. I put in about maybe 6 or 8 hours, and I managed to get a better result from Claude using this process. So I'd encourage you to try it too, and test it for yourself and see which one gives you the best result. Now, I should address this one. There are other applications like make.com, like beautiful.ai, and various other third parties. But the thing about it is, I don't want another third party application. I don't want another subscription. I don't want another application out there on the web that I have to use. Now, especially if I'm in an organization where data is tightly controlled. If you've got sensitive financial data from clients, for example, or data on members of the public, sharing that information with an AI is problematic. So you really have to weigh up the costs and benefits here of doing so. If you're going to upload your sensitive data, and make sure you anonymize it first. So remove any personally identifiable information from the data set, from the Excel sheet, or from the Word docs, or whatever happens to be, because that information is going to be shared and saved somewhere on a server and may be compromised. So a word of caution on that. I don't want multiple tools all over the web that I have to jump around and switch screens. I want it all in one place if I can avoid that at all. So I realized that was quite fast and we moved through a lot of the steps. If you're going to use this method, you need to spend a bit of time creating your template up front. And if you do that, you'll get a better result. I've got a good result from Claude. You can get the same if you use the custom instructions that I've built for you. Okay. Any questions on PowerPoint before we move on to Excel? Any thoughts or observations, concerns, or otherwise? Okay, let's move on to Excel then. Right, just close down a few of these windows. And let's have a look at Excel. Okay, workshops. Come on. Excel with Claude resources. So you can try some of this stuff yourself. Hopefully you'll give it a go. Uh, all right. Let's go Excel. Right, that's opening up. Let me just shut down PowerPoint while we're at this. Fewer apps we have open, the better. Okay, once again, and I'll go into more detail on Excel next Friday. For those of you who are more interested in Excel. So that's PowerPoint. Excel. I've got an Excel guide here for you. I've got a prompt pack and a quick reference card. What we're going to be working with today is the Excel Ireland fee and free spreadsheet. And this is produced by the Tourist Board in Ireland. And it's a fairly detailed spreadsheet. How, in the name of God, are you supposed to see anything from this sheet? At a quick glance, you can see that you've got venues here on the left-hand side. You seem to have some links to the websites. You've got phone numbers. You have locations. Some of the data is missing. The address location. You've got longitude, latitude, varying degrees of accuracy and so forth in here. This is a CS, or at least it was a CSV, and converted to Excel. So a couple of things to note. If you're a Microsoft house and you have a 365 license and the Copilot add-on, they change it so often, I don't know what they're calling it today, but I have a personal account with Microsoft and Copilot is built in. And so I can see Copilot in the ribbon at the top. When I click on that, I can see Copilot here and it opens up. Now, I should say I've been somewhat disappointed with Copilot and how it works. It's been a bit hit and miss inside Excel, and that's been a bit of an irritation. So, another slight irritation is I need to have, as you can see down here on the right hand corner, I need to have autosave turned on in order to use Copilot with Excel. What that means is this document needs to be in my OneDrive. And if I don't have a OneDrive, if I'm not a Microsoft subscriber, I don't have a 365 account, well, then I can't use Copilot inside Excel. So that can be problematic. And sometimes Copilot doesn't read your files properly. At least that's been my experience. So I'm not a fan of Copilot, so I don't use it. I might use it for demos from time to time, but that's about it. Instead, I use Claude. And here's Claude installed. If you want to install Claude yourself, just go to, let me drop it in the chat here for you. In fact, I'll grab the link from the web here. It's the Microsoft Claude plugin. Come on. Claude extension. Microsoft Marketplace. Yeah, this is it here. I'll grab it here, share it with you in the chat. So that's the Microsoft extension. Once you install that, and log in to Claude, you will see it in your spreadsheet here. You can open it up. When you hit it for the first time, it'll ask you to log in. And once you log in, just go through the process there. You'll see this open up on the right hand side. So this is just one way of using an AI with your spreadsheets. And I'm going to show you some stuff here, and it's pretty cool. So you can essentially just use natural language to instruct the AI to manipulate and modify the spreadsheet. So let me just go to my, so it's quick reference prompt pack. Okay, I'll share that with you later on. So I've done this a few times, so I'm just going to run it again. So we can see that there's coordinates here, for example, X and Y coordinates. What are they, you might say to yourself? Maybe this is an output file from your financial package. Maybe it's sales report data. Maybe it's customer acquisitions. Maybe it's CRM, whatever it happens to be. You've got a bunch of data in a spreadsheet and you want to try and make sense of it. So the first thing that I want to do, let's just as an example, ask the AI to tell it where you are, in fact. So I'm based in Dublin. Create a column showing my distance from each venue. So let's see what it does. Doesn't matter about getting spelling wrong. It'll read your prompt. So it reads the entire sheet. It gathers information around what's in the sheet. The venues have longitude and latitude. Great. Dublin city centre is approximately, here we go. I'll create a formula. Let me increase that so you can see what's going on. So if you don't know how to create formulas inside Excel, this is a game changer. So it's telling me what it's doing. It's using the Haversine formula to calculate the distance from Dublin City to each venue. And it's done it here for me. So, okay, that looks good. So you can verify this by just going to Google Maps or asking it to verify its own data. I'd like to use another source to verify what the AI tells me in most cases. So that's the result it's given me. So now I want to get it to order these in terms of distance. So order this column. So again, you might say, well, that's a pretty vague prompt, but the AI should be able to read this. Goes through the process here and order this. So, okay, so that's not, what's it doing? Let's see. Order column Y. The quality of your prompt will have a bearing. Nearest first. Oh, it is. It's already done it. Sorry. So that's fine. So create two decimal places. So it knows that I want the info formatted to two decimal places. Great. Okay. So maybe I want to, that's great. It's ordered the data in terms of distance from Dublin. Now, maybe I can add some conditional formatting to this. Maybe some colored conditional formatting will help me see the data a little bit easier. So let's add that now. Add colored conditional formatting to Y column. Red, farthest away, green, closest. Now I know there's an error in this sheet, so let's see what it does. Right, pretty good. Now, if you're familiar with Excel, you could probably run that exercise yourself pretty quickly using the toolbar menu. But if you don't, you can see. Now, previously, it's just worth noting here, this item on the list, the National Museum of Ireland, it doesn't have coordinates. Now, when I ran this before using Copilot, this threw out the whole data set. But here, Claude has identified it and left it out of the mix, which is interesting. So I like this. But what if I want to create charts and other interesting visuals for this data? So you can simply ask the AI to do that for you. You might have particular requests for the AI, or you might just simply want to see what it can do. So I'll ask it to examine the data and provide me with notable stats. Also provide visuals to represent the data. Again, you can get spelling. I have fat fingers, so that can be a bit problematic. So you can engage with the AI, create new tabs on a sheet, ask it to create a dashboard of the data itself. Next week, we'll get into a bit more detail on that. Really get our hands dirty on Excel, AI with Excel. But these are just some quick examples to show you what you can do with Claude inside a spreadsheet. You're not limited to this. Obviously, you can upload the spreadsheet to Claude in the web. You can upload it to ChatGPT, and using Canvas, you can engage with the AI. I'll show you that next week. There are many ways that you can use your AI with spreadsheets, and using natural language. You don't need to know how to create the formulae inside Excel. The AI will do it for you. So let's see what it's doing here. It's providing you with some analysis, writing some code. It's analyzing the data. Let's just let it run here. While it's running, if you're still with me there, jump in with any thoughts or comments that you have. Let me know if you have any questions on what we've been doing. Looking for my toolbar. Don't be shy. If you're still with me, maybe you're going to watch it later on. That's all right too. But if any thoughts or questions on any of this stuff, just jump in there. You can drop it in the chat if you don't want to unmute yourself, but you're welcome to unmute yourself.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, go ahead. Yeah, Manny, how are things?
All good, sir. Sir, how to use AI for developing reports, sir? I mean, in Excel sheet only we can create barcodes, no, sir. Barcodes, QR codes like that.
In Excel, sorry, give me that again. Sorry.
Normally we can make a reports, no, sir. In Excel.
Yeah.
So how can we do it faster in a non-verbal way? Visuals with visuals.
Oh, with visuals. Yeah. Well, I'm going to show you. So you're talking about charts and so forth. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're going to see that now in a second, right? Because it's gonna pop this information into this sheet.
Okay, sir.
So if you have a look at this tab that I created here, so here's the data, the raw data. Claude, in this case, has done this for me. It's identified some key statistics. Let me see if I can increase the size of this for you. So, for example, it's given me some key statistics: total venues, 99, total annual visitors to all these venues, 28 million, closest venue, the Book of Kells, etc. It's gone through some interesting stats. It's pulled all these itself. Um, it's given me a chart of venues by county. It's given me the top 5 most visited attractions: Guinness Storehouse, Cliffs of Moher. Um, if you're visiting Dublin, there's better places to get a pint of Guinness than the Storehouse. So this is just a bit of insider information. Cliffs of Moher is definitely a fantastic place to visit. Dublin Zoo, that's only around the corner from me here. The Book of Kells, believe it or not, I've never seen it, but I should do that. Venues by county. So to me, that's pretty impressive. It's ordered them nicely on another tab here, and there's no reason why you can't get your AI, or Claude in this case, to do the same for you, based on maybe some data, sales data, customer data, maybe it's financial reports, whatever it happens to be. Does that answer your question, Manny? Is that what you were looking for? You still there, Manny?
Yes, sir.
Does that help you at all? Does that answer your question?
So can you repeat the question, sir, once?
Yeah. So you mentioned earlier, I think you mentioned you were looking for ways to create charts and visuals. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So what you're seeing on screen here is, does that help?
Yes, sir.
Good stuff. So Barry, that might be something interesting for you working with data. Just remember to anonymize, as you probably know yourself in your game. It's sensitive enough. Anyone else? Any thoughts or questions you'd like to ask?
Another question, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can we link make.com with Excel, sir?
Say that again, Manny. Sorry.
Can we link, can we connect a link, sorry, make.com with Excel, sir? Workflow automation, like N8
Automation.
yes, sir.
Well, you can certainly use your AI to include spreadsheets in an automation run. Yeah, I build automations inside Cloud Code. So I'll have time maybe another at a later workshop to show you how to do that, how to build automations using Excel. So keep your eye out for that. For those workshops, they'll be coming up soon. This is an example of how you can use Claude inside your Excel. But you can obviously extend this to automations and get the AI to do work for you when you're busy doing other more important things. So automations are big, all right. So I'll certainly show you that at a later date. So it's actually gone past 12 o'clock, and you've all got work to do, no doubt. So I'll take any more questions you might have at this point. Otherwise, we might wrap it up. So any more thoughts or questions or otherwise, feel free to jump in. Okay, no bother. Barry, Eamon, Faljuni, Manny, Phyllis, Theo, thanks very much for joining me this morning, taking the time out. Hopefully this was helpful. It was quick and speedy. And what I'd like to say to you is, so I have something in the chat here. Oh, brother Barry. What I would like to suggest to you is, finally, before I just wrap things up, if you want to learn this stuff and access the recording, you'll get that here. This is GenAI Skills Academy. It's where I'm sharing lots of free stuff. There's a load of tutorials in here already on various topics related to Claude and ChatGPT. The workshop recordings will be in here also. So today's playback will be available in here. I've got some general discussion. I'm sharing prompt packs and all that kind of stuff in here to help you use AI more efficiently. Let me grab the invite link just so you have that. And you can join that straight away. I will send you an email with the recording link. So free prompts, prompt packs, tutorial videos, workshop recordings, and various other helpful documentation you'll get in GenAI Skills Academy. It's all free, by the way. So how do I get paid? Well, I develop workshops and with businesses and so forth. So those services are part of what I do. But I build this for free, this bit. So jump in there and sign up to GenAI Skills Academy. I'll send you the link via email to this recording, like I said. All right, that's all I've got for you this morning then. Thanks for taking the time out for joining me. Hopefully that was helpful, and might see you next time. All the best for now.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. Take care, Manny.
Thank you, Larry.
All the best, Damon.
Bye-bye.